I know it's hard, Myles, but this new beginning will be good for us.
A moving truck idles along the curb of a quiet suburban street. Myles steps out of the family car slowly, his backpack hanging off one shoulder. He looks around. New houses, unfamiliar faces, kids riding bikes but none paying attention to him. Tamara stands beside him, smiling gently. "Fresh start, baby." "New chapter," she says. Myles doesn't respond. He just exhales softly. Inside the house, every room echoes. Boxes labeled kitchen, Paul's tools, and Myles' room clutter the floor. Myles drags his backpack down the hallway, his footsteps heavy. Paul pushes a heavy box through the doorway, grunting. "Phew, whoever invented moving needs to repent," he says. Myles forces a tiny smile but keeps walking. Myles stands in his new bedroom doorway. It's plain, with beige walls and nothing on them. He sets his backpack on the floor and sits on the bare mattress. He unlocks his phone. No messages. A photo of him and two old friends flashes on the screen. He turns the phone face down. Tamara walks in holding a roll of LED strip lights.
Thought these could brighten the place up. You love those lights,
she says. Myles shrugs. "Maybe later," he replies. Tamara sits beside him. "They didn't put you here to punish you, baby. You'll make new friends." Myles keeps staring at the floor. Later, Paul knocks lightly and leans in the doorway.
You order pizza, get your favorite.
I'm not really hungry.
I know this ain't easy. Being 10 in a new place, man, I cry every day.
Myles gives a tiny laugh through his sadness. Boxes are half open. The TV is off, and the house still feels empty. Myles sits in the living room, watching Tamara arrange kitchen items. A knock at the door startles him, a neighbor dropping off a welcome basket. Myles watches from behind the wall, too shy to say hello. Tamara waves him over, but he stays back. Myles returns to his room and shuts the door quietly. He lies on his stomach, looking at the picture of his old friends again. "They're probably hanging out right now," he says softly to himself. He squeezes his pillow, his eyes watery, but holding it in. It's not even fully dark outside, but Myles crawls into bed. The room feels foreign. Too quiet, too empty, too new. He pulls the blankets over himself and looks toward the window. The outside streetlight flickers. Myles frowns. As the house shifts and creaks, Myles hugs his pillow tighter. He isn't scared, just uncomfortable. Every noise reminds him he's not home anymore. Tamara peeks in the doorway. "You want me to leave the light on?" she asks. "No, it's okay," Myles replies. She hesitates, then softly closes the door. Myles rolls onto his back, staring at the ceiling. The shadows from the window stretch slightly, shifting with the wind outside. His eyes get heavy, blinking slower and slower. "Please let tomorrow be better," he whispers. His eyelids finally close. The house is dark. Myles lies in bed on his side, eyes wide open. The clock on his nightstand glows 10:47 p.m. A faint hum of the refrigerator echoes through the house. Myles shifts under the blanket, unable to get comfortable. He stares at his phone screen. Still no messages. He places it face down with a sigh. The streetlight outside flickers again, casting shifting shadows across the wall. Myles watches them, his eyes following the shapes. He hugs his pillow a little tighter. "It's too quiet," he whispers. The house creaks faintly, making him flinch. Myles finally turns onto his back and closes his eyes, breathing slowly. He squeezes them tighter, trying to force sleep. His fingers curl into the blanket. A faint, soft vibration fills the room, like distant static or a muted heartbeat. Myles's brow furrows. The darkness of the room deepens unnaturally. Not scary, just heavy. The air thickens. Sound fades, like someone turning the world's volume knob down. Myles' breathing slows, his body relaxing against his will. The blanket rises slightly, as if a gentle wind brushed over him. Myles suddenly finds himself standing on an invisible surface in a pitch-black void. No walls, no room, just endless dark. He looks down at his hands, confused. Around him, tiny particles of golden light begin appearing like distant sparks. "Hello?" His voice echoes softly, as if the darkness has no depth. The golden sparks grow brighter and form Hebrew letters, glowing as they float gently around him, not aggressively, but curiously, like they're examining him. Myles steps backward, amazed and frightened. He raises a hand but hesitates to touch one. What is this? One letter drifts close to his face, pulsing with warm light. Far in the distance, a tall silhouette forms, broad shoulders, long hair or locks, a robe-like figure, but still faceless, still hidden. A faint ripple of light spreads beneath its feet as it takes a single step toward Myles. The Hebrew letters swirl faster, reacting to its presence. "W? Who are you?" Myles asks softly, afraid. The figure lifts a hand slowly, not threatening, but commanding silence. The letters freeze in place, glowing brighter. A deep, calm, ancient voice reaches Myles. "You feel out of place, but you are exactly where you're supposed to be." Myles's eyes widen. He looks around desperately. I don't understand." The silhouette takes another step forward. Still too far to see a face, but unmistakably powerful. A single glowing letter floats from the air and stops inches from Myles' chest. The dream feels warm and heavy. The voice says, "Wake up, young one." As the voice speaks, the letter flashes bright white, and everything erupts in light. Myles gasps and sits straight up in bed, breathing fast. His room is normal again. Dim streetlight glow, shadows still, house quiet. Sweat clings to his forehead. He looks at his hands, his blanket, the room. Everything feels real and unreal at the same time. He whispers shakily, "What was that?" He hugs his knees toward his chest, staring into the dark. Early morning light peeks through the blinds. Myles sits at the edge of his bed, still in his sleep shirt, staring at the wall. His eyes look tired but alert. He glances at the spot on the floor where he stood in the dream. It felt real, he says softly to himself. From off-screen, his mother calls, "Breakfast! Come eat before it gets cold." Myles takes a slow breath and stands up. At the breakfast table, Myles quietly eats his scrambled eggs, mostly just moving the food around his plate. Tamra sits across from him, her laptop open. Paul is beside her, scrolling on his phone. "You were tossing and turning last night. You have a bad dream?" Tamra asks. Myles hesitates. "I don't know. It was just weird." Paul looks up from his phone. Old house spirit's mad we moved in." Tamara gives him a look. "Don't listen to your daddy." A tiny smile flickers across Myles' face, then fades. Later, Tamara sits on the couch with her laptop, searching for churches near me. A bright thumbnail appears on the screen, Brightway Fellowship. A look of interest crosses her face. "This one looks nice," she murmurs. On the laptop screen, photos show a modern sanctuary, smiling youth groups, and a bold, charismatic image of Pastor P.C. Chop. They've got kids' classes. Tamara notes. Paul leans over her shoulder to see. "At least it doesn't look like a cult on the homepage," he says. Tamara clicks, "Watch latest sermon." A video opens on the laptop. Pastor Chop is in the middle of a sermon, sweating under the stage lights and pacing with energy. His voice booms from the speakers. "When the world tells you that you're nothing, you better shout back, 'I am somebody in the Lord.'" The crowd on the video cheers. Tamara nods, impressed. He preaches with power. "I like that." The sermon video continues. Pastor Chop leans over the pulpit, his expression turning serious and intense. "And don't let these so-called Hebrew Israelites on the internet confuse you." He points directly at the camera. "They walk around yelling in the streets, acting like they own the Bible. They are not the chosen people, and they are not your teachers. The crowd shouts in agreement. Tell it, Tamara says with a firm nod. Myles, who had been listening from the doorway, can't take his eyes off the screen. The words seem to hang in the air around him. Hebrew, Israelites? He asks, his voice barely a whisper. People online saying all kinds of crazy stuff these days, Tamara replies dismissively. Paul adds, as long as they're not begging for money every 5 minutes, I'll survive. Tamara closes the laptop with a decisive snap. I say we try Brightway tomorrow. We need a church home. Paul considers it for a moment, then looks over at Myles. All right, we can visit. If it's weird, we never go back. Deal? How about it, champ? Myles looks down, avoiding their eyes. Do I have to go? Tamara gets up and puts a comforting arm around Myles' shoulders. I know you don't feel like it, but you're not gonna meet anybody staying in this house all day. Maybe there's a kid there just as nervous as you are. Paul adds from the couch, we'll sit in the back. If the pastor starts levitating, we out. Myles snorts a small laugh, the tension breaking. Okay, we can go. That evening, Myles lays out a simple outfit on his chair. He sits on his bed, a mix of anxiety and curiosity on his face as he stares at the clothes. His thoughts drift. A new church, new people, Hebrew Israelites. He lies back, and his eyes slowly close as the scene fades to black.